Hello, hello, hello. I am Jay Lawrence. I am the proud co founder of the Insiders Only Club, and we are official. Again, one of the things about being, a serial entrepreneur in the United States is that you can learn, but you have to take that learning, right? Make it real, solidify it as real knowledge so you can monetize it. And if you're somebody who wants to learn how to do that, you're in the right place. Let me just share this with you. Myself, along with some phenomenal, super intelligent, dynamic personalities, super smart people, are all part of the Insiders Only. And the Insiders Only Club is it's a platform that allows you to level up. Again, let's be real. Like the Insiders Only Club is here primarily because there's something known as they. Capital T, capital H, capital E, capital Y. They. You know who they are. They're in the shadows, right? They are the ones that continue to sort of give you just enough information to force you to buy their thing. And that after you actually buy the thing, 2 days, 2 months, 2 years, 20 years later, you haven't progressively moved the needle. This is the reason you're here. This is why Insiders Only Club was created. And we're going to get right into it. First off, I want to thank by name several people who have been instrumental in making this thing finally launch. First and foremost, I need to thank my team. I want to thank Jimmy. I want to thank Jeff. I want to thank Brittany. I want to thank Illy. I want to thank Devin. I want to thank Randy. I want to thank David. I want to thank, there are a myriad of people who have been diligently working for months to make sure that we can do this thing and do it in a way that's so additive to your life that when we talk about Insiders Only Club, the only thing you're going to think before you go to bed is how I can put to work the new knowledge that I've gained through my association with Insiders Only Club to work first thing in the morning. Like that will be your last thought before you go to bed. You're going to wake up activated and knowing how to do one thing and one thing well. You see, we teach you because we're on this thing. We're focused maniacally on profit, but not just like profit with an F, but it's also profit with a PH. You see, there's two types of profit, right? There's a profit that everybody wants to see on the bottom line, but I'm going to tell you, you have to fill up your profit PH profit bucket as well. You see, I love to share this story with everybody, and I hope you guys are pouring in. And I'm going to stop right now. I'm going to tell you, this is a daily show, 6 days a week, right? We take off on Sundays now, right? But 6 days a week. It's called Daily Edge, and it's the IOC Daily Edge. Please stop what you're doing. Share this out right now with several people. Like really, we know that 5 people in your life, whether you know it or not, you have 5 people that are your persuaders. They're not your influencers. That's a whole nother training, but we focus on making sure that you can touch the people who are your persuaders every single day. They pour into you, whether it be they're pouring greatness and throwing you flowers, or they're handing you the baton for you to take it and run with it, or they're a boat anchor around your neck. Okay, you need to know who those persuaders are. And in fact, we're going to have a little exercise in about 5 minutes specifically about that. But here's the thing. I want you guys to know this, that this is an opportunity for you to reach out to those 5 persuaders. Share this link with them. Have them come on so they'll know what the heck you're doing. Because after spending a couple of weeks with us, your life will improve for the better. You're going to be like, oh my God, I had no idea that they had me so stifled. I didn't know that they had me literally giving my daily profit away and I wasn't getting anything in return. You're going to know who they are. That's the number one thing you're going to learn. And on top of that, the Insiders Only Club, we have a complete masterclass, a roster, which I'm going to share with you in a second, a roster that is guaranteed to level you the heck up. You will be better. Your family will be better. The people that you hang out with, right? Your your team, right? Your crew, whatever you call them, they will all be better because you're better. You're going to be able to pour into people intelligence, knowledge. You're going to share with them how your monetization plan can include them if they want to, right? Like, as they say, I was in the military, right? And I'm going to tell you, White House top secret Pentagon clearance. I'm so proud of this. Like, if you cut me, I bleed red, white, and blue. I'm telling you, I want this country to win, right? I'm not red. I'm not blue. I am purple. All I care about is that we all win. However you think winning is winning, I want you to win that way. As long as what you're winning and you're additive to our communities, you help building businesses so people can actually become employed. Like, you should have your business set up right now where you actually have W-2 employees, that you're actually having, hiring these contractors and they're getting their 1099s at the end of the year. And that also that you have partnerships of which that you guys are distributing K1s to them. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you're somebody who doesn't know what I just said, you don't know anything about that, let me tell you what you need to do. Insidersonly.club is where you need to go. You need to register. And again, by virtually like registering for this event, you're going to be able to tap into what we're doing. And again, when you go to the site, yeah, there's registration. But if you simply watch any of those little videos on our site, the videos are sort of telling the story, right? And I mentioned that we have a roster. And the roster I'm going to share with you is really built around 4 quadrants, right? Number 1, we were all kids at one time. And some of you who are watching this right now may be a kid. And if you happen to be a student athlete, there's something that's happening in the United States right now. There's a seminal sea change in everything that will happen to you economically. This is the opportunity. If you are somebody who is 8 years old to 18 years old, that 10-year block, 8 to 18, if you're that individual, or you have a son or a daughter, a niece or a nephew, if you have anybody in your circle that is that in that age range, we have something for you. I'm going to share this with you right now. We have an education, a platform, and you see here it says NIL Knowledge School, student athletes, parents, mentors. If you're one of those, first off, student athletes right now, you have an opportunity to actually get NIL, name, image, and likeness money, simply because you happen to be a student who can swing a bat, hit a puck, make a tackle or throw, shoot a basket, get it in the net, right? Whether it's soccer or football or basketball or baseball, whether it's hockey, whether it's lacrosse, whether it's swimming, I don't care what you're doing. If you're doing it at a high enough level and you want those individuals to get you to go to their school or participate, you need to know there is a business of sports right now. It's called the NIL business. This is a masterclass series just on learning how to be a phenomenal, let's call it, owner of your success associated with you having NIL deals. Now, something just happened about a week or so ago also. If you are going to college, you're in college right now, you know the NCAA just lost essentially $1 trillion lawsuit. They had to settle. They had been keeping, literally over the last 100 years, the NCAA has been warehousing all of the profit that's been associated with all of the players of every single sport for 100 years. They've been keeping the money. They've been sharing it with the universities, and the universities will make you feel guilty that you actually get an opportunity to take that education of which that they're paying for it. They're covering the cost, but listen, they're paying below wholesale because they're actually creating the knowledge around the education of which they're telling you that's worth 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 a year. You see, those universities control the market. Not anymore. You see, no matter what you guys think about the political machine that we have to face every 4 years, this is all I know. The United States has an automatic reset. Every 4 years, we have to make a decision as to who is going to be the president and who is going to be the Congress. That will be the Senate. That will be the House of Representatives. That will be the at the federal level as well as at the state level. See, you have a choice every single time. So again, this is the PSA for get yourself together. Make sure everybody in your camp is voting this year. I don't care who you vote for, vote. No person is left behind in America when everybody in America votes. That's how it works. We control it, they don't. Let me go back to the NIL piece. What I want you to understand is this, that a student can make $10,000 a year, 3 million, 5 million. We have their word on the street that there are some players right now that were just drafted into this year's NFL that actually got $13 million NIL deals for 1 year. Now I'm telling you, I guarantee that 98.999% of all of the students were not financially prepared for that windfall. They didn't have the right tax structure. They didn't have the right entities to actually receive the money in. They didn't have the right team to help make sure that they didn't give their money to people who were nefariously going to siphon all the profits away. And that 5 years later, they didn't get an NIL deal. They just simply hit the lottery. And everybody knows when people hit the lottery, what happens? They're broke in 5 years. So listen, if you're somebody who is near somebody who is an potential NIL recipient, you need to make sure they're at insidersonly.club. They need to actually sign up. We start with I'm going to share this with you. Again, I promise, and I know I get a little bit distracted at times because I'm so excited about the opportunity to make sure that you and your family and your friends and your folks, that you guys level up. Okay, that's literally what this is about. I'm just gonna get over here to one page real quick, and I'm sorry, I have to show it to you this way. And I know you guys are like, "Wow, Jay, but here it is. Here it is. I'm gonna share a screen. I'm gonna share a screen. I'm gonna stay right here and come over here. Okay. Now, again, I said insidersonly.club. Again, maniacal pursuit or persistent, predictable profit, right? Both of them. This is what we're doing. Again, this is the registration. And every time we broadcast, we're going to have a registration page on this site. Again, the Daily Edge is a morning show Monday through Friday. It starts at 8 a.m. It runs to 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You want to plug in. You want to tell your folks to plug in. You want to tell your business partners to plug in. You want to have your staff plug in. You want everybody to plug into this because they're going to get daily truth around how to monetize knowledge. You guys will figure out what I'm sharing and how and why it's so important as we go forward. But remember, it's your obligation to make sure the people in your life that they continue to level up on a daily basis. Let's go down to the NIL piece. Okay. We call it the NIL Knowledge School. Again, right? Why? For those ambitious athletes, this video is where you want to go. But I was going to say, become a member. I wanted to make sure this video is going to give you an explainer. Listen, none of our videos, and particularly these short forms, are like a minute, right? So we're not talking about a heavy lift for you. If you want to get to the actual programs, right, you can by selecting this, and it explains all the programs. We can get over there in a second. But I want you to know how to become an NIL member. This is it. The NIL Knowledge School, right? Why is this so important? First off, for anybody who has no economy, like you literally cannot rub two pennies together, we have a free program for you. We're not leaving you out in the dark. Okay, that the free program, let me tell you, you're going to get the things that you need to ensure that you can afford $369 a month without blinking. Okay, if you can't do that right now, start with the free program. And again, you're going to get the masterclass reading list. You're going to get this live training sessions, and we're doing lives every single day. Okay, so anybody who needs to go free, start with this, because again, this is going to give you the opportunity to level up. Let's go back to the NIL, the Knowledge School. This is the location which, if you're a parent or you're a kid that has your own personal economy, you want to invest in self. If you're a parent, you put your kids, many parents have made a conscious decision. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing here for a second because I want to go one-on-one with this. Okay. Many parents made a conscious decision to actually sell a portion of your child's mortality if you allow your kid to participate in contact sports. Look, I'm part of it. I have kids. They participated in contact sports, football, two of them, right? Like, this is the thing. I did not admit this years ago. You know, my kids are in their 20s and 30s. I didn't admit this to myself years ago that I was actually like selling part of the mortality. Why? Because some of the things that we know that CTE, TBI, like these head trauma, it is real. I was listening and watching the Pat McAfee show yesterday. If you don't watch Pat McAfee, cool. He's on YouTube. I'm watching Pat McAfee show, ex-football player, got a pretty big brand. He has Chris Paul, who is an NBA superstar, has been in the NBA for 20 years. Everybody knows CP3 if you're a basketball fan. CP3 is now, he's still playing in the league, but he's efforting and he's created all of these various businesses, super successful guy, super smart guy. And here's what he said live the other day. He goes, yeah, we love football, but I'm ambivalent around football, meaning that, I wouldn't let my sons play football because we know what's happening with the brain injury. Stop. You got this man who is literally like one of the most successful athletes on the planet who played football in high school, flipped it and just concentrated on basketball. Why? Because he wanted to have his gray matter, his brain, right? And if Jimmy was on this line, she would share with you there's something called white matter. She wanted to have Chris Paul wanted to have his kids make sure that they're white matter, which is the growing part that makes sure that the brain operates at an optimal level. He didn't want that white matter to be damaged. So thus then Chris Paul said, nope, you're going to do basketball or soccer or anything else, but it won't be a contact sport as brutal as football. Now, listen, my dad played for the 49ers. I understand, right, living with those who have serious brain trauma. I get it. This is part of the Insiders Only Club. We're pouring into you these insights so you can make a conscious decision. So I'm not telling parents to don't have your kid play a contact sport. What I am saying is that if you plug into the IOC, we're going to share with you ways that your kid's brain can be conditioned from nutrition and superfoods through some sort of like some meditation and some prayer, some fitness, some yoga. There's all kinds of things that actually enlighten and help that white matter in the brain to flourish. If your kid is going to play, make sure your kid is playing with an advantage of being able to recover fast from those traumatic brain injuries, because they're getting it at every single practice. Stop pretending that this is not happening. It is. But we want to make sure that you as a parent, as a grandparent, as a son, as a daughter, whoever it is, we want you to make sure that those who are in your space, if they're a contact sport athlete, that they're getting the best. So we're teaching them that about their health and their wellness and making sure that they can take full advantage of all of the benefits that actually is born out of being a student athlete. But then you had the economic aspect of it. And I'm going to get off the horse on that, but I just want to share. It's super important for us to know the following. We take great pains in structuring content that ensures that if you have the economy, and everybody does, because all we're really doing is prioritizing something that is going to be additive to your life as a legacy play. It's immediate, it's midterm, and it's legacy. And legacy is long-term, right? $369 a month is going to get, yes, the reading list, yes, the live trainings, but personalized mentorship. We have NFL, we have NBA, we have UFC, we have soccer, we have these retired players that are participating as mentors to the student athletes in the NIL Knowledge School. Why is that so important? Because we need these students to understand the pathway of which and what's required for them to actually succeed, right? And the only way that we know how to do that, quite frankly, is that we need to make sure that those individual students, that they know the pathway of which that they're going to have to step into and the sacrifices they're going to have to make, not from parents who are the people that are like, getting them up and going to school and dropping them off and shuttling them around. No, but some professional who's already been through the fire, they come on the other side, and now they have a live story to tell around that. That again is the NIL. All right. So let's move on a little bit. I want to make sure that I go back to looking at that actual roster. Remember, I talked about giving you guys some insights around what that is. Okay, so the ILC Masterclass roster is really an amalgamation of us focusing on what we know is going to be the maximum level of input and knowledge that we can transfer to those who need it the most. Again, the NIL student athletes are going to learn the following. First off, they need to know the basics of, NIL, right? What that we call it the 101, brand building for athletes, financial fitness for athletes, contract negotiations, competence, compliance and ethics, entrepreneurship, communication mastery, mental health. That's for the actual athlete, right? But we also have something for the parents, because the parents, again, I mentioned the fact that we are selling the mortality for a short period of time for the glory of our kid making it and really learning through sports is phenomenal. But also we want them to be able to retain that type of knowledge, so as they become a professional outside of sports, that they actually can flourish and thrive, right? That's really what we want. So we teach to that in this program. And we have a lot of parents that they just don't know. They cannot trust what, the agents and the trainers and all these other people. All we focus on is the real knowledge around it. And we teach the parents that knowledge, and the parents, you take this and you're now armed to be able to communicate, negotiate, walk through the NIL process to ensure that no one ever disenfranchises you and your family from the knowledge that you need. Because once you have the knowledge, you can apply it. And by applying it, you don't have to seed it and give it to anybody else. You can actually take control of the financial success of your family and your legacy. Navigating NIL and collectives, because if you know anything about that, that's something. Contract literacy, financial management, time management, sustainability of income, public scrutiny, ethics and compliance, career impact, legacy planning, health and education prioritization, and personal development. That is everything that we want the parents to know how to articulate these messages to their kids. Okay, this is a thing. It's a thing. Also, I mentioned the mentors. I'll just briefly say that we actually have a training program for the mentors to make sure that they're meeting a certain standard, right? They're communicating in a way of which we know is additive to these parents and obviously to the student athletes. So that's the training program just for the mentors. Let's step it up now. We're going to step away from that. I know I spent a significant time because I believe that the education, if we were all educated at this level at 8 or 9 or 12 or 16 or 18 years old, if we were educated at this level, our lives would be better. Our families would be stronger. The education system is broken. They're not teaching you things that you need to know, but they're doing it with intention. Let me say this. They monetize ignorance. Again, remember, we talked about capital T, capital H, capital E, capital Y. They monetize ignorance. That's what the game is. You cannot be ignorant anymore. There is no reason for you to be. You have to step your game up. We're giving you the keys of the kingdom. All you have to do is plug in. Make sure you share this with all your friends and family. Do not wait. There's no reason for you to sit around and wondering what you should do next. Next is insidersonly.club. Choose one of the plans at the very bottom of the page. Get this thing cracking so you can show up on a daily basis. We record everything. We have a phenomenal library that's built. We do them live, but we record them and they become evergreen. So you can always go back and have total recall as to what you were supposed to learn if you did not get it the first time. And it takes you 50 times to watch it, rewatch it again. And each one of these are actual courses. So let's pour into what we're going to start with. Attention. If you are a corporate side hustler, and believe it or not, we've already went through all of the research to determine, like, how big is that audience? Like, who are these individuals inside the United States? Let me share this with you right now. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics and 4 other sources, okay, they're all saying the same thing. that there's over 12 million people right now that's working in corporate America that actually have a other company that's a registered company. We're not talking about the people who are just doing things on sideline. We're talking about people who have like registered LLCs or Incs, or they're part of a group outside of their regular corporate job. 12 million individuals. These are the corporate side hustlers. Why are they side hustling? If you're a side hustler, you know that you have ambitions to be bigger than that corporation. You want to be able to step outside of the preview of the demands that they're making on you. Your vision is bigger than that for yourself, for your family, your colleagues, your community, and you want to win. So how are you going to do it? You embarked on creating programming that would allow you to actually leave that corporate job and do it on your own. You want to become a solopreneur. A solopreneur then will graduate to become an entrepreneur. But guess what? You right now, if you're a corporate side hustler, we got you. Let me explain to you. This is why. We have created a series of learnings for you. These are individual courses. Oh, by the way, the NIL, these are courses as well. Each one of those, the NIL, those are 16-week courses. Like we spend 16 weeks with the kid over a full year, right? And we know they're studying, but when they're getting that type of knowledge in at the same time, their grades at school are going to go up because they're going to look at what they're doing in a much more responsible, professional manner. Again, I'm getting off the soapbox on the NIL. I'm coming back here to the solopreneurs and the corporate side hustlers. Okay, corporate side hustlers, an 8-week program, which is delivered again over a full year, but we can condense it so you can do more than just one of these courses. But this one, again, this course unlocks your potential. It gives you like this confidence that you can sort of take the glass ceiling off of the opportunity. See, there's things that you're not doing in your business, whether you have an LLC or an Inc. or LP or a C Corp or S Corp, whatever it is, right? Whatever the entity is, there's a glass ceiling typically because you don't know what you don't know. And because of that, then it's impossible for you to actually take all the necessary steps in order that would allow you to win at a level at which that you can graduate from corporate side hustler to successful solopreneur. Let me define what the successful solopreneur is economically. You take the gross income that you have in your corporate job, whatever that is. If you're making $100,000 a year, $50,000 a year, $250,000, whatever it is, you take the gross number there, and you take the total amount of money that you're actually creating with your side hustle, whether it's 25,000 or 50,000, many times it's less than your corporate job, right? But if whatever that number is, you take those, you add those two numbers together. Let's assume that your side hustle is making 25,000 and your corporate job is making 100,000. You're making $150,000 in gross revenue in an individual year. We need you to take that number and you need to divide that number by 6. Now, I know this is some math, so some of you guys, wait a minute, why? I didn't know this show. I got to do math live, but let me just tell you, easy. You take that total number, you divide that number by 6. That number is your target goal number that you need to achieve in your outside company, your side hustle. It needs to go from side hustle. It needs to go to you being a solopreneur. If you can hit that number divided by 6, if you can hit that number in 2 months, that's telling you you're on the way to being able to leave the corporate job and stay and take that side hustle into an actual, real, thriving business called a solopreneurship. Why is that so important? Because when you really knock down the math, you have just proven to yourself that you can sustain, right, that type of income creation. We're not talking about profit, income creation. The difference between income and profit is, right? It's what you keep is the profit portion of it. But we're talking about income here. So when you can get that income match 2 months in a row, you should be seriously thinking about, okay, it's time for me to think about 4 months from now, putting in my notice saying, hey, listen, I think it's time for me to go, but I want you guys to know I want to stay with the group, but I have another opportunity that's bigger, but I love what you're doing. Give them your current employer. You're going to, in 6 months, you want to be planning on giving them an actual contract. It's a contract that they hire your company to do the things that you're doing for that company, but you're doing it outside the company. It's called consultancy. So you see hundreds of thousands of people every single year. That's the play that they run. And we're going to teach you in our courses how to actually do that thing, what the strategy is associated with it, why it's so important for you to do that. That's part of the core principles. Okay. We have this onboard your success. This is, again, this is a 4-week course. Why is this so important? Because the onboard your success is really about you getting out of your own way. Okay. Like many people, they keep like stumbling on the same thing over and over and over again. Let me share this with you. We have a phenomenal reading list, but we've taken our reading list to the next level. We actually build from our reading list, we build content around that to teach you how to extract maximum value out of some of the best self-improvement, some of the best, let's call it business building, sustainability, right? Making sure that you have a legacy play in your business, teaching you that by extracting the maximum value out of the titles of all the people that you see. We have this master list of some of the top thought leaders on the planet. We like all the way from, way back in, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, right? And I almost lit it out. One of my favorite books is Outwitting the Devil, right? Again, another Napoleon Hill title, but starting at Think and Grow Rich and how to extract all that value all the way up the value chain, right? To any title. See, we focus on the best of breed, right? And every time we have a new title, we use our coursework, go in and extract maximum value, and then we make that part of your knowledge platform. How about it's not just reading a book, it's how do I extract maximum value so I can monetize the knowledge of which that was gained out of a book? This is what we do. We want you to be able to pour into that. Again, that's part of this onboard your success. Wait, stop. Everybody knows that this AI thing is really a thing, right? Like November of 2022 is when they kind of lit the cat out the bag, right? And many of you were like, that's nothing. 6 months later, hey, that's something. A year later, you're like, hey, this thing might take my job. Oh my God, this thing may take over the world a year after that. Here's what it is. You have to know AI is your co-pilot, right? You will always be the overlord as long as you know the process. You have to understand how AI works. It is not magic. It's just math. It may be some super math, but the more you leverage it, the more AI is going to be additive to your life. So we have a one-on-one, which is really just kind of bringing people into this front end of what it is and how to actually not be scared of it and how to lightweight leverage it. But we're going to focus on some other things associated with this. Now, this is for those who are going from corporate side hustler to solopreneur. And every solopreneur needs to know the following. Your FICO score is not something that you lend to your business. Your FICO score is only a view of which that those business line of credit providers can see. You're never going to lend your FICO score into your business. It will stifle your business forever, and you'll be trying to figure out, why is my business not growing? We teach you this in our Secure and Maintain an 800 plus FICO score. We teach you the principles. We have the forms. We have the processes, and we live with you for an entire year through this process when you are one of our 369 next level members. And this is where it is. The corporate side hustlers of the world, I mean, God bless you. But you know doggone well that if you put in the right amount of work for the right period of time, you're going to be able to do something where you can move into this. We have it as the next level. That's the same 369 that the students are paying, you're paying. We're obviously giving maximum value, but here's part of the thing. You're going to have to, while you're still in that corporate job or while you're still a solopreneur, you're going to have to invest in your future. And we're telling you that there's only one way for you to do it, guaranteed, is to plug in, to be a participant, but also be an active member of the community where you're actually sharing your losses and your wins back to the community. Why is that so important? Because when we're all doing it, right? Let's assume we have, 2,500 people all working on the same processes all the time on a daily basis. Imagine the laser focus that you actually get. There are so many like, oh, I got a platform, I'm on school, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Listen, when it comes down to it, you can only validate based on those who've done it before, right? Like we're aggregating all of these super smart minds and putting them all inside the same community, and no one's selling you anything. Like this is it. Like this is one time you pay this one amount every single month, and then you get to extract maximum value. And we teach you how to document the extraction of the value so you can use that knowledge to do what? To monetize it, right? So again, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back. I just want you guys to know, like, the first thing that you should be looking at is how in the heck can I create the type of sustainability of my profit? How can I do that when, quite frankly, when I look at myself, I look at my life, I'm not quite sure if I'm living to that standard. So you want to be with the Insiders Only Club because we can help you set your standard. Everybody's standard is different. Help you set your standard. And by doing that and setting that standard, two things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to know for a fact that when you show up to work every day, wherever you call work, okay, when you show up to work every day, you know that you're getting it right because you have a team of people who are also doing the same thing, and we're self-reflecting, and we're fine with doing that publicly. Again, next level, designing and building GPTs. Now, we talked about the AI piece, but I'm going to say the GPT is how you actually create your own co-pilot. This is the thing that's going to help you work bigger, faster, stronger. Okay. Work less, profit more, experience better. It's one of our mottos. Thank you so much, Brother Devin. So this is an 8-week course on GPTs and how to build them and how to leverage them correctly. What about business credit and payday scores and why? Remember we talked about the personal credit, but this is the flip side. So if I'm not personally guaranteeing for anything with my personal credit, how in the heck can I get somebody to give me hundreds of thousands of dollars of lines of credit? Exactly. They don't want you to know. If they do, they want you to do it in a realm where the interest that you're paying for the business money is so ludicrous, right? That you're going to be sitting around going like, man, was it really worth it? Avoid that thing. You want to take this course. This again, 5-week course. Specifically, who is this for? Business owners, financial officers, entrepreneurs looking to improve their business credit scores and understand the nuances of commercial credit systems. Okay, this is very specific. Let me just continue. We use something known as the Cialdini method. And again, if anybody's ever read the book Influence or any of the persuasion books or Persuasion, Dr. Robert Cialdini is, first off, he's an American treasure. His knowledge, the way that he's laid it out, if you pay attention and if you pour into it and you read, again, I'm going to sidebar you guys right now. Okay. Sidebar. Here's the deal. Reading, they say, is the easiest and best way to hide. And what do they mean when they say that? If you ever want to take a secret, something of such value, take it and stuff it in a book, put it on the shelf, and it's good probably for decades. Why? Because people don't read. The best information in life is already written. It's already in the book. There's no original idea. So this is how you maximize and extract maximum value out of a book. You're going to read it 3 times. The first time you're going to read it to see what the author intended. Like no preconceived notion, just take in the content. The second time you're going to read it, you're going to read that book like the Bible. Highlighter, post-it notes, stickies, the whole thing, a tablet. You're going to walk through that thing. You're going to highlight. You're going to ask yourself questions. You're going to go back and do some research on those particular questions so you get the answers to your questions. You're going to do all that in reading a book. And the third time you're going to read it to see what you missed. Let me tell you something. You are a high value, super smart person who wants to focus on extracting maximum value out of every moment in life. If you are at the pool party enjoying yourself, listen, don't half do it, right? Enjoy yourself, right? Get a stogie, hang out with the folks, like put on the suntan, do the whole thing, do the swimming, have the music blaring, enjoy it like literally while out while you're there. The same energy though, when it's time for you to work. When you work, no distractions, right? Anybody who walks in your office and anybody who's trying to get you to do some things that aren't the things in which that you know that you're laser focused on getting that bag, making sure that you can do it for yourself, for your family, for your community. If anybody's coming in with anything that's not focused on the thing that's going to make sure that you can achieve that goal in the minimum time possible, if they are that individual, they need to go. Everybody else, they're part of the game. My point to you is simple. I want you to be able to take on the knowledge that everything that you do by extracting maximum knowledge out of these books is going to allow you to turn that time that you spent and actually monetize it. You see, this is America. I don't care what you're doing. You better be able to ring that cash register on a regular basis, and that cash register needs to be a cash register of profit, not just of income. You see, when you work in a job, you got income, and then what you take from that income, that's called taxable income. And unless you're going to turn that income into an investment, you'll never get that investment to create profit, and you'll never have profit to actually build your legacy. You got that chronology, right? If you don't do it just that way, guess what? You constantly, like, you got so many people that are like, oh, I got a lot. I got 250,000, 300,000, 400,000, $500,000 a year in my job. Yeah, but you got $500,000 worth of income, of which that's all taxable, of which that you still got to go and invest somewhere, of which that investment still has to bore out profit, of which that profit is the only thing you should be spending. Never spend principal, only spend profit. Okay, let's go back. So Robert Cialdini is the master. The Cialdini method is about how you focus on taking the things that you need to do in life and how you can control the narrative. Understand this. We use this method. We teach you this method. This is so life-changing for 99.9% of the people. It just is. I want to share this other thing with you. One of our businesses is one of the foremost authorities on trust, private foundation, holding companies, and education around it. Most people in my circle, they're like, Jay, this is the only thing you should be doing. Listen, we know that 6 weeks of this knowledge is going to help you understand which entity and why, when, why. So the profit that you create, you can retain, so you can take that profit and reinvest it and rerun that play again. It's about rinse and repeat. And did you guys know that there are certain holding companies, which is a non-tax federal corporation, that they allow you to actually take those dollars and recycle those dollars without paying taxes? It has to be done through a certain channel. You have to have the right structure with the right entities. It's not me. We're talking about the federal code in the US code. It's literally in the code. And this course shows you how to access the code, how to leverage these particular entities so you can level the you know what up. This is what it's about. And lastly, we're about to wrap in 1 minute. I want to share this with you. Personal brand building is part of it, right? 10 steps to mastery. How you develop your online course, how you develop a live in-person program, how you work on just really with your personal brand, how to become an influencer, who are the influencers, why are they influencers, and how are some influencers more monetizable than others, right? Building your personal story, how to actually attract your best buyers, and lastly, the definitive guide in LLCs. Speaking of which, we are actually doing a giveaway. And if you're watching this, you need to be able to go into the chat and you need to be able to communicate to us saying, hey, listen, I was here. You're going to need to leave in chat away. DM me. We're on Facebook and Instagram, and we're on all of these socials right now. You need to DM me and say, hey, I want to participate. I want to win this thing. What is the thing? We're giving away a $5,000 LLC package to one person. if you're somebody, if you see this, if you DM me and say this is what you want, we will communicate to you. We're going to take all those registrants and we're going to pull live in our next event. One thing I wanted to share with you is that, listen, we're giving this to you for a reason. We're giving you the knowledge, we're giving you the tactics, we're giving you the team, we're giving you the community, we're giving all of this to you, quite frankly, because you're worth it. Okay. They have had their day in the sun. It's time for us to get out and shine. Okay. They versus us. You want to be with us because they will continue to fleece you. They will continue to use you as a product. They will continue to sell you to all of these multinational corporations to extract all of your real value from you, and they will leave you in the dust. And lastly, I want to close on this. We have the wonderful opportunity, and we are associated with one of the greatest organizations. I get emotional sometimes when I think about this, but I want everybody, I'm going to put a link on the screen, and give me 1 second to pop this up for everybody. There's a video that I'm sharing in the chat. I want everybody to watch this video. The organization is known as the Wounded Blue. The Wounded Blue, and this is a very short video. We're talking about under 3 minutes. I want everybody to watch it. I want everybody to comment here. The Wounded Blue is an organization that stands up for all of our LEOs. So LEOs are law enforcement organizations and law enforcement officers, right? And I want to share this with you. I told you, you cut me, I bleed red, white, and blue. Okay. This is important. The reason I want everybody to pour into that particular, I want you to pour into this particular organization and take some time, understand who they are, is because when you have an officer who has to actually take on a job that, unfortunately, today in this day and age, not many people by the numbers actually want to become police officers. It's hard for me to even think about that because I'm like, there's been so much trauma and drama in all these various communities over the last, 50, 60 years relative to, policing, over policing, under policing. Are they there? Save me. Like, so much controversy. It's got so cloudy in this law enforcement space that so much so that they needed to have, like, law enforcement needs to have an organization. And I like to use movie references. So we're going to use Star Wars here as a reference. You have those who see law enforcement as an evil empire. And you have law enforcement that see some of the community as an evil empire. But both of them see each other as being positive in their rights, and they are. But no one's always right all the time. There's this degrees of right? And this is where you have a lot of this back and forth in communities. And at some point, this whole notion of, like, defund the police, which I think is completely dumb. Like, please, right? Like, say some things and do some things that are going to be additive, not a negative to our survival of our goddamn country. Excuse my language. But one thing I would tell you is this, using that Star Wars reference, the Wounded Blue, they are the Jedi. The Jedi in the Star Wars lore is really a kind of a neutral group that protects everybody, right? They just want everybody to win. That's who the Wounded Blue is. And the Wounded Blue, as Jedi, step up for law enforcement officers of every ilk. I don't care how tall, how short, I don't care what color, I don't care race, religion, it don't matter. Wounded Blue doesn't care. What they do is they make sure that if an officer gets hurt on the job, whether he or she is shot, whether they have like the PTSD because of the stress associated with the job is so rampant that these people cannot take it anymore. Wounded Blue is there for them. If someone gets hit by a garbage truck, and this is a real story, there was an officer that got hit by a garbage truck. Unfortunately, that officer had only been on the force for 10 months. Do you know after he got hit, his that law enforcement agency that gentleman happened to be with, they did not want to cover him and give him his insurance. He literally had to go on regular disability, right? And they dropped him like a hot rock. 10 months in, they were like, nope, you get nothing. So Randy Sutton is the gentleman's name. If you can look Randy up on the social, specifically on LinkedIn, he's on Facebook, they're on YouTube. And I wanted to make sure I close with this because we are giving 10% of our proceeds every single month to the Wounded Blue. The reason we're doing is because this is a charity that literally walks out, and if some officer gets hurt, we don't care who the officer is. It doesn't matter. But what it happens is when that officer is hurt, Randy, they have a triage program. So they'll actually have someone go to that officer. They're in hospital. They go to the hospital with $1,000 check to help pay some of the immediate costs that officer is going to have because what? Loss of work, right? They're like better than Aflac. Okay, everybody knows the Aflac commercials, right? They got the duck running around trying to give money away. Well, this is real life. This is what the Wounded Blue does. And I just want everybody to pour in, please. Take some time, know who these individuals are, pour into the Wounded Blue, help us support the Wounded Blue because they're doing the work that those who need it the most are being disenfranchised from, and they're not getting the support. And you would think that all of these agencies would support their officers at any cost. Once you sign up for the club, you in the club, right? Not so fast in many of the agencies around the United States. That's a whole nother conversation. Again, I just wanted to make sure that I spent a little time on that. And I want you guys to understand like how we're cut. This is what we do. If you're in the United States, I don't care how you got here, it is your birthright now that you're here to be wealthy. How do I know? It's in the US Constitution. If you haven't read the Constitution lately, get off your you-know-what, pull that thing down from the internet and read the Constitution. There's something in that specifies that, listen, you have all the access to all of the information, but it doesn't say that they're going to teach you how to take the information and turn it into knowledge. Because remember, knowledge is the only thing that you can monetize. And monetization is what you, your family, and your community, this is what they're counting on you to do. And you're here with the Insiders Only Club. Again, remember, insidersonly.club. Sign up, free, $369. We have other programs and packages. We have a founders group that the next time I come on, I think on Monday, I'm going to share this with everybody. That is so dynamic. It's so additive. You become one of 25 people who become part of our original founders group at the Insiders Only Club. You will so far level up that there's so many things that you're going to get that you'll be like, well, how can you give me this for this price? Because you are worth it. And again, I'm Jay Lawrence. I want to thank you so much. We're so blessed to have you. If you need anything, insidersonly.club, bottom right-hand side, there's a little chat button. If you need to get some more information and talk to somebody about what we got going on, if you're a creator and you have courses and you want to be able to put your courses and align with us on, in our library, we have something for that. If you're somebody who wants to be an avid promoter for the things that we're doing, in fact, let me just share this with you, right? We have promotion opportunities for each of the members of our team. So we promote and we continue to promote for members of our team. We'll use your code and we'll promote live so other people can see your code. If they decide that they want to join a team, we're taking somebody who wants to be a brand builder within the ILC community. We're promoting for you, right? You don't have to only do the heavy lifting yourself. We want to make sure that you get some shine. So what I'm doing, I'm sharing some of the members of our team right now, and they have the opportunity. You have the opportunity to sign up on it. If you want, you could just rewind, pause this, write down the link, go right there and make sure that you join under any of these individuals who are participating. They're all guides. Everybody has this great sense of humanity. Everybody's really about making sure that you win. And again, listen, the only thing that I know when it comes down to it, we can't promise you that you're going to always win every day. But the chances of you winning because you're a member of the IOC is exponentially greater than if you did it anywhere else. This is what we do, right? Again, my name is Jay Lawrence. I am the co-founder of Insiders Only Club. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.